Hi everyone, welcome to Ask an Armourer. My name's Kia and today I'll be showing you part of the process for how to rewire your foil. If you watch my videos on how to do this for epee, it's the exact same process, just with a few minor tweaks to deal with the 2 wires in epee versus just 1 wire in foil. I'm going to be showing this process over several different videos so that I can break down each phase along with the various mistakes and pitfalls to look for based on what my past issues have been, as well as I'm going to give you the various pros and cons of each of these that I've discovered. Now, there's no official correct way of doing this. What's most important is that you have a fully functional weapon at the end of this that adheres to the technical requirements of the FIE. So, as with the tool recommendation videos, feel free to try these all out, mix and match them, whatever works best for you and is most comfortable. And of course, if you've learned a different technique, please share it below because I always love learning new ways of doing these kinds of things. Before we start, you're going to have to make sure that your foil is completely disassembled, including having the tip taken off. To do this, you can simply reverse the steps in my how to assemble a foil video, and as with my tip tightening video, you can just turn the tip counterclockwise rather than clockwise and it'll come right off. In this video, I'm going to be showing you the acetone bath method of removing an old wire from your foil, and I'll show you a couple different ways that I know how to do this. It's really important to make sure that the foil's groove is completely cleared out of old glue before you begin the re-gluing process, as any residue will lead to poor contact and issues with pop wires later. They're not impossible to fix, just I personally find them really annoying to deal with, so it's easier to just do it properly from the beginning. For both methods, you're going to need your cleaned off blade as well as some acetone or nail polish remover if it is 100% acetone. For the first type, you're going to need some tin foil, and then for the second type, you're just going to need a copper or a steel pipe that is a little bit longer and wider than your blade, and just some leftover wire. You can use the wire that comes from another blade, or just whatever you have lying around. You want to make sure you do this in an area that's well ventilated and has good drainage in case there's any spillage. First, I'll show you the way to make a bath with the tin foil. You'll need a length that's about 8 inches or 20 centimeters longer than your blade. Fold it in half lengthwise twice. Next, bend it into thirds lengthwise, with the base being wider than your blade is and the sides a bit taller, as we'll be folding them together later. Once you've got it like this, go ahead and place your blade inside of the cavity you've created. Once your blade is nestled into this fold, start rolling the ends to seal them. I like bending them into a triangle and then wrapping that around itself, but you can do whatever works for you. After you've done both ends, work your way down the blade, sealing the edges together. Leave an opening a couple inches wide somewhere along the length. Finally, once your blade is wrapped and the seams are secure, go ahead and pour the acetone into the opening you left. Once you see it filling the space inside, seal that remaining opening. At this point, if I was going to actually do this, I would take this into my bathroom and place it in the tub so that I know that it would be secure in case that there was any leaks. If you want to use a pipe bath, your life will be a little bit more work up front, but a lot easier moving forward. It's pretty easy to make one of these. All you need is a metal pipe that is longer and wider than your blades, including the bend of the tang, 2 caps, and your soldering kit. Keep in mind that the longer your tang and the more bend that you have in your tang, the wider your pipe is going to need to be in order to accommodate that. I made that issue with another pipe that I had where it was far too narrow for a heavily bent French tang, and it just didn't go, just wouldn't work. So make sure that you're taking that into account with what your blade preference is when you're making one of these. So when making this, just take a cap that fits on your pipe and solder it into place. Fill your pipe about 2/3 of the way up with acetone as a base, and then the other cap will just sit on top to seal it a little bit more and make sure that the acetone doesn't evaporate off too quickly. Now, just a quick note. I made this mistake a couple of times when I first started using pipe bath, so I just wanted to let you know this so that you learn from my mistakes rather than making them yourself. Once you've dropped the blade into the bath, it'll be really tricky to reach with just your fingers. Getting it out after that is a whole process that is annoying, not impossible, but very annoying to deal with, so I'll show you a quick way that I take care of that next. To be sure you don't run into this issue, you'll need your old wire. I typically just use one I got off of a different Rewire because I tend to just have a lot of those floating around, but any wire you have on hand will work. I don't typically recommend using string as it won't hold up well in the acetone, but all you need to do is wrap the wire around the tang to give yourself a little handle. Make sure to wrap it back over itself a couple of times so that it's really secure. If you want, you can even twist the two ends together just to make really certain that won't come off. And now you can just pull on this and get your blade back out. Now that your blade has this nice wire handle, you can go ahead and just place it into the bath. Sorry about the sounds. You see that it's still sticking up right here, easy to reach. Just bend it down over the edge. Top up your bath with whatever more acetone you need and cover it with your cap. I, for the life of me, cannot find the cap that I use for this, so if you need, you can just grab a bit more tin foil, use that to make a reef cap, and secure it with a rubber band. It's not nearly as good as an actual properly fitted cap, but it will do in the meantime. And now, with either bath type, we wait. The acetone is going to do all the work for us so long as we give it enough time. I like to leave them overnight for best results, but if you're in a rush, you can just leave it for a couple of hours, pull it out, and you should be able to scrape the remaining glue with a utility knife. Now, the benefits of using the acetone bath method. Personally, I find this the easiest. As I said before, the acetone does all of the work for us. This technique also guarantees a fully clean blade afterwards so long as you let it sit long enough, as the acetone will just dissolve all of the glue and there will be no more residue in the groove at all for us to have to worry about. However, this method does have some drawbacks, both in that it can be a little bit dangerous in that the acetone is highly flammable, as well as the fumes are not great for breathing in. So if you don't have a really well ventilated space, or if there is any sort of heat source nearby, don't recommend using this. As well as this method does take a fair bit of time in order for it to properly work. So if time is of the essence, then this technique might not be the best one for you to use. And there you go, your blade is all cleaned and ready to go to be rewired. I have a couple other videos on different preparation techniques that you can try out, as well as I'll have a couple videos on different gluing techniques that you can use, so be sure to stay tuned for all of that. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please be sure to like and subscribe, and as always, if you have any questions, comments, or other topics you'd like me to cover, let me know down below. See you in the next one. Bye.